Hello, my friends. I'm Rick, and this is your seat at the table, and we are looking at the Solaris 7 box set. And I can't tell you exactly what year I bought it. It came out, this was $25 when I purchased it. And one of the things I've always liked about Solaris 7 was it's a convenient vehicle for when you just, your normal sessions are kind of disrupted. It's just you and one person. Maybe it's somebody who's new to Battletech altogether. You're just wanting to kill a couple hours worth of time. You still want to play a bit of combat. This makes for a great impromptu set and scenario. I mean, you can run entire campaigns based out of Solaris. I have played in one. I never ran one specifically for Solaris 7, although I've had people in a couple campaigns visit the world for various reasons and things like that. But it's just a really excellent position. And there's a lot of people, there's quite a few people in my experience that have mixed opinions on Solaris. They don't necessarily like everything that it's definitely a different set of rules from what we have for typical Battletech and MechWarrior. It comes with a number of maps. They're all pretty good. You got the reaches, and this is the reaches, and this one here is Hartford Gardens. Different kinds of terrain and scenarios. I believe this one here is the factory. The scrapyard, my bad. And no, the reaches is the area. So this was King of the Mountain. This one here, play on a mountain, and no, it was the other one. The pool. So this would be actually underwater, and you're dealing with a aquatic environment. And then we have the mud pit. Basically, the water environment drained out in a big slimy pit full of muck and mud. And here is the reaches themselves, the suburbs of Solaris City. And let's see, we have more maps in here. And I've tapped these maps once or twice for different environment scenarios for actual campaign uses. This is the factory. This might be the factory. This is one of the bigger ones. That's just a bigger generic map there. Yeah. Also use this as a couple occasions as a template for creating a mech maintenance facility and operations bay. There we go. That one's a big deuce, isn't it? I kind of wish they'd all been of that scale, but you can't have everything. And then here's another big one, a jungle. Let's see. Cathay, Solaris, map 3. And then, of course, it's got another one on the back side. One thing I've always liked about the various franchises who create BattleMech, they've done pretty good with the maps. They've come a long way from the earliest cardboard ones, but even the cardboard ones back then were really good. We have a layout for how these things would go. In theory, you could scan these things and then blow them up using a Xerox machine. I have not done that, but I've heard of a couple other people doing so. Then we have the player's book, and we're not going to go into a bunch of details on it, but you got information on the world itself, Solaris today, coming of the clans, champions of Solaris as of that moment, a few bios on them, famous ones and what years they were the champions. Solaris City itself, overview of its government, currencies, crime, law and order, mafia, yakuza, triads, Bloods, independent gangs, the games itself, gambling, Solaris sites, the international areas. So you've got a collection of ideas of places. BattleMech Center, Gerfa's Gerbit Concert Hall, the Imperial, the Royale, Hotel Row, Solaris Broadcasting Corporation, etc. It just goes on and on. which, you know, the various different, so hits his cat, they different areas and different, there's a number of novels that have, there's at least one of the Warrior series, I believe, where part of it takes place in Solaris itself drawing a blank on his name. I know his name too. I want to say Daniel Allard, but no, that's not right. Anyway, get a little bit of color and insight into Solaris itself. This is one of those places where you love or you hate the game. This supplement, and it's a matter of perspective. And then we have the Game Master's book, of course. And the Game Master's book includes rules for modifications, doing some pretty slick different things for your machines. And some of this you could extend to your regular combat, although there are consequences for obviously hot loading LRMs, for example, interlocking street SRMs, overriding delay, death from a dub, charging, disengaging a PPC field inhibitor, effects of heat, physical attacks, new actions such as evade, integrating mech warrior rules, dropping to the ground, standing up, stacking, jumping, combat, line of sight, partial cover rules, minimum rage modifiers, mech warrior wannabe encounters, media encounters, terrorist encounters, tech encounters, stable master encounters, noble encounters, aerospace pilot encounters, criminal encounters, police encounters, Solaris encounter section. Right. The top 20 stables and pilots that are available at the moment. Or of course that would change and vary and modify based on the era and the time you're playing it in. Major cooperatives, the dispossessed, the Black Lions, renegades. Here we are, the stables. Right. Awesome, nice and interesting, great read. I've read through these numerous times and found a lot of useful things in them. This is when we start seeing the introduction of pilot cards and machine cards. This becomes the thing later in the game systems, becomes a bit more popular. I never quite got into them. I mean, they're useful and all, but here's a Juggernaut, there's a Colossus, the Cudgel, the Paladin. It's just supposed to make things a bit easier and simpler for you. In my case, I'd need a magnifying glass in order to read the damn things on because they're so small. And of course, we got our various chits for modifying the maps themselves to give them a bit more whatever. Right, blinds, standby, up, down, enable, so on and so forth. So, like I said, it's a really nice game system. I've used it probably about a dozen or so times, just right out of the box, just to kill time. I've used it twice, I think, inside of as part of a larger campaign encounter, and one of those, I don't know. Once again, a lot of BattleTech purists, they don't really like it. I don't know why. I guess it's a matter of, you'd have to ask individuals and what their experiences are. I don't know if there's an updated version of this. Has Catalyst, do you guys know, has Catalyst produced a newer version of Solaris 7? I think there's at least one source book that was put out to help, I don't know, bring Solaris to a little bit more modern era, but I don't quote me on that because I don't believe I have it. I just think I've seen a reference to it at some point here not too long ago. So anyway, this is Solaris.